By the end of the first quarter, I think that we can get back to... All right, welcome to Talkin' Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to go through a Bitcoin miner, Hut 8 Mining, stock ticker HUT. We cover the Bitcoin miners and Bitcoin quite a bit on this channel, so if that's content that you're interested in, please do us a favor and subscribe to the channel. You can hit the notification bell and get notified every time we make a video. And of course, if you enjoy this video, please do us a favor and smash the like button. A little bit about myself. I have a background in accounting. I've been working with numbers for about 30 years. I've been trading stocks as a retail investor for the last couple of decades. So my goal on this channel is just to share some of my knowledge with you, and hopefully we will all make some money along the way. I want to mention the channel has a 10K to 100K challenge that we just started this January. There is a link below to a video that describes what the challenge is. Lastly, please check our pinned comment for a link to our free Discord. We do also have a couple of upgraded levels if you choose to do so, but I like to talk a lot on that. We would love to have you join our conversation. All of that said, let's get to Hut 8. So Hut 8 is trading at $7.93. Today is January 5th. It's still pretty early in the trading day. It's down 2.11% on the day. It's been a pretty erratic day. It's been a pretty erratic week. It's been a pretty erratic last couple of months with Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. So I don't know where this is going to end up by the end of today, but this is where we are at the moment. So this morning, before the opening bell, Hut 8 provided their December operations update, and they had some additional information in there, and then I have some additional information that I've put together past that since this is the end of the year. I was able to pull together some numbers, and so I want to take a look at all of that, and then we'll go to the chart and take a look at price point and potential price targets for the year 2022. Some short-term, some long-term. Okay, so let's go to the press release. Hut 8 provides monthly production update for December 2021. Okay, Toronto, January 5th, 2022. Mining production highlights for December 2021. 276 Bitcoin were mined, resulting in an average of 8.9 Bitcoin per day. That was better than November's results. It was better than October's results. So they continue to increase the number of Bitcoin mined on a monthly basis, which obviously is a very good trend. Next thing, 100% of the self-mined Bitcoin for the month of December were deposited into custody, consistent with Hut 8's HODL strategy. I believe that Hut 8 HODLed 100% of all the Bitcoin they mined in the year 2021. If it wasn't 100%, it was very close. Next, total Bitcoin balance held in reserve is 5,518 as of December 31st, 2021, a 97% increase over the prior year. So they almost doubled the amount of Bitcoin they're holding on their balance sheet this year, and I take two things away from that. Number one, they mined a lot of Bitcoin this year, and they were able to hold on to them. And number two, this is where I go back to their experience. They've been doing this for a few years. They had already hodled well over 2,000 Bitcoin coming into the year this year, which put them far ahead of their competition. So this 5,518 Bitcoin that they have on their balance sheet is all self-mined, and that is more self-mined Bitcoin retained on the balance sheet than any other North American publicly traded company. Now, Marathon does have more Bitcoin in total, but they bought 4,000 or 5,000 of their Bitcoin. So this 5,518 is the self-mined HODL record. Lastly, installed operating capacity currently sits at 2.0 exahash, a 125% increase in the hash rate from December 31st, 2020. I can tell you in November it was 1.7 exahash, so they upped that by 0.3 exahash just in December. And later we're going to look at their January, February, and March plans because they have a lot more coming. Okay, the first couple of these are about the mining machines that they bought in December. We kind of went through that. They got their exahash rate up to 2.0. This next bullet point, electrical upgrades are ongoing at the Medicine Hat site, which are necessary to allow for optimal hash rate efficiency from ongoing delivery of new MicroBT miners. These upgrades are on track to contribute an additional 450 petahash or 0.45 exahash in February of 2022. So that is a dramatic increase that they will have by the end of February 22. They will have added almost another half of exahash. The company expects to have the North Bay site powered up in mid Q1 2022 and fully operational at 35 megawatts by the end of Q1 2022, contributing approximately 850 petahash or 0.85 exahash per second of additional hash rate to our operations. So the most important takeaway from all of this is they then go on to say, which is expected to bring our total hash rate across all three sites to 3.35 exahash per second by the end of the first quarter in 2022. So that is a significant increase. At the end of December, they sat at 2.0. So they're adding somewhere over 60% to their existing exahash just in the first quarter of 2022. So I think we can expect to see their mining results go up fairly significantly month over month, particularly in February and March. All right, the next thing is equipment financing with Trinity Capital. They can take on this debt, get new machines in, and not have to dilute your shares as a stockholder. This is a little bit of new territory for the Bitcoin miners. In the past, they've had to do a lot of equity raises. Some of the transition has now been into convertible debt at a premium, so that's a step in the right direction. Beyond that, we just had some debt come out that was secured directly by the company's Bitcoin holdings. Now, in this instance, Hut 8 has managed to borrow $30 million, and it is just strictly secured by the machines that they're getting. So that's highly advantageous. That doesn't put their Bitcoin at risk. And this is the purest form of financing so far to date that I think any Bitcoin miner in North America has gotten. Now, it's $30 million. That's not the biggest number in the world, but I think this opens the door to a lot more of this, and I think you'll see more where this came from. So this is just a quick little schedule that I put together, summarizing kind of where Hut 8 was at December 31st. So, and actually this is as of today in the middle of the trading day. Their market cap was $1,326 million. In October, they mined 248 Bitcoin. In November, they mined 265 Bitcoin. So in December, you can see they beat both of those months with 276 Bitcoin. We talked about how in November, their exahash was 1.7. In December, they got that up to 2.0. And by March 31st, they expect to get that up to 3.35, which is a dramatic increase in their hash rate. So this is Hut 8 Mining's balance sheet as of September 30th, 2021. This is their most recent balance sheet. So I'm just going to go through this really quickly. You're going to see current assets of $490 million, up from $105 million last year. So that's almost a 5x in current assets. $223 million of that is cash, and then about $263 million of that is Bitcoin. You'll then see some non-current assets. The big one is deposit and prepaid expenses. So they made another $107 million in deposits on buying more Bitcoin mining machines. So that gives them a total assets of $651 million. On the other side, if you look at their liabilities, they have just under $22 million in total liabilities at September 30th, 2021. Now, they did just borrow $30 million, so that'll bring that up to $50 million, but they get a bunch of machines for that, and their assets are at $650 million. So you can see their current assets to current liabilities is almost $500 million to about $22 million. So extremely healthy, very strong balance sheet. Real quick, in addition to that, you'll see operating income for the third quarter was $18 million. So they are already making money. And obviously, their fourth quarter was their best quarter yet, so I would expect that trend to continue. So, strong balance sheet, nice income statement. Let's take a look at the chart. Okay, this is Hut 8's chart on the 2-hour time frame, so each one of these candles represents 2 hours. So you'll see this most recent candle here is red. There has been some downward pressure on the Bitcoin miners today. Bitcoin is actually doing just fine on the day. It is above its close from yesterday, but for whatever reason, there's some pressure on the miners today, so the miners are down a bit. And Hut 8 is no different. So this is not a reflection of their press release. All of the Bitcoin miners are in the red right now, so most of the charts look very similar to this. So in light of that, I'm viewing this as a buying opportunity. And again, remember, please, this is not financial advice. I'm showing you guys how I look at these charts and how I go through my process of making buying decisions. I'm looking at the balance sheet, I'm looking at press releases, and then I'm doing a risk-reward analysis. So hopefully this is helping you guys do your due diligence so that you can decide whether or not this is a good investment for you. Hut 8 is now down 3.7% on the day. So just to look at this chart a little bit, the first 3 days of December were a disaster, and quite frankly, the rest of December was not really much better. So if I go from where we're trading right now at this moment on Hut 8, midday today, back to where it was trading on December 1st, which was just over $13, that is very close to a 70% increase. Now again, they were just at this price just over 1 month ago. This was back to December 1st. So Bitcoin was trading more in the $57,000, $58,000 range at that point. You know, we seem stuck in the $46,000 or $47,000 range right now. So obviously we've gone through what Hut 8 is doing. It's all extremely positive. And in addition to that, in order to get back to some of these numbers, we will need Bitcoin to get healthy and start to move up from where we are right now. So if Bitcoin can do that in the first quarter, and I'm trying to give things a little bit of time, because if last year taught us anything, things have been getting elongated. Everything's taking longer than we think. So we got to expand our attention spans just a little bit. So I'm going to say somewhere by the end of the first quarter of 2021, I think that we can get back to this December 1st price, and that represents, again, I'm going to call it a 70% increase, is my target number for the end of the first quarter. It may take a little longer than that. I don't have a crystal ball. Only time will tell. But I believe that's a reasonable price target. Okay, lastly, if we go from where we're trading today, and I want to make a note, you will see that we are bouncing right off of this extremely strong line of support. This line dates back to September 29th, which was the end of the September bear market in Bitcoin, and almost every single Bitcoin miner hit its recent low on that day, created a line of support, and basically has held that support. Hut 8 is no different. We're right back on the line right now. So if we can go from there back to where Bitcoin was on November 9th, which was its all-time high, Hut 8 also hit a recent high of about $16.50. So that would represent over a 110% increase in the stock price of Hut. I do think it will happen faster than that, but again, I'm trying to give some reasonable time frames because things seem to take longer than we hope. But I think this is an extremely realistic 2022 price target, so that is more than a double for Hut 8. Again, this is not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence in making your buying decisions. So thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.